going on, everybody? Welcome in to the North End Podcast, episode 308. My name is Zach Graham, your host here in the North End, joined, as always, by my good buddy. He's on record as my best friend. His name is Ian Michaud, and we call him E. I'm done. Pull the plug.
I'll kill you.
E, sitting here on a Sunday, dreary Austin, Texas, coming off a 2-1 home loss and domination.
Yes.
At the hands of what was supposed to be the worst team in the league. What, for the last 2.5 months, has been an abysmal side, not up to the standard in this league whatsoever. And you get absolutely manhandled.
Mm-hmm.
How you feeling?
Oh, fantastic, for sure. Were you talking about Austin there or SKC? I couldn't tell. Oh, man. I'll get this out of the way. Congrats to SKC. Beat our ass, came into our home, fucked up our couches right from the rip. Right from the start of the game till the final whistle. They beat your ass. So congrats to them. Obviously, this is going to be we kept that powder dry for this one one here, because this is about to be a spicy one for sure.
If we had fucking blasted on Thursday, I would not have the energy to do an I don't want to host this show anymore.
Yeah, dude.
The whole show, we're just going to be just throwing references at each other to try to make ourselves smile through some of this bullshit. Let's get into this.
Yeah.
Because again, I'm fucking over this shit right now.
Done.
And we'll talk about the Sporting KC loss. After that, we're going to dive into the salary release, some of the takeaways from that. Maybe try to pull some positives away from the player personnel, the roster build, right? None of that is going to make any of us, I don't think, feel better about where this team is at right now in terms of who's here, how they're playing, how they're coaching, all of that stuff. So we will get into the rest of episode 308 momentarily. Just want to remind you all very quickly, as we always do, that you can support the show financially just by downloading the audio versions of our episodes wherever you get your podcast. Toggle on auto downloads on Apple or Spotify or wherever you get those podcasts. That'll support the show in that fashion going forward, and you won't have to think about it again. You can go the extra mile, rate and review the show wherever you get your podcast. If you're watching on the YouTube channel, hit the subscribe button. It does help us grow the show. You can hit the notification bell to know when a live stream pops up or a new episode goes live. And of course, here on episode 308, hit the thumbs up, like the video, help us battle the YouTube algorithm overlords and just the will to continue being fans of this team. Wash yourselves clean in the waters of the North End. And E, I will smile twice because shout out to Chris Tarbay signing up there. I don't think we've ever met Chris, and I may be screwing up the last name there, but very happy for Chris to join the roster here in the North End just before the World Cup break.
Love to see it. Thank you, Chris.
He's in the song, E, and now he's in the Patreon Discord. It is Big Fudge showing up. So it's good to see Big Fudge, as always, last night. And I think signed up 5 minutes before we got into the stadium. So we got to come in, give him a big old hug, and it was great to see Fudge. So looking forward to having Chris and Fudge in that Discord discussion, which, as you may imagine, is lively over the weekend. And really this entire week has been popping off, and rightfully so. So we've got multiple listener questions to get to here on today's episode, and wouldn't be surprised if we're hearing some from Fudge or from Chris in the near future.
Love you, Fudge. Been awesome being a fan with you, man. Thanks for signing up.
So getting to Sporting KC. Ian, I want to get back to a listener question from Dave. And we have multiple Daves. I believe this is Dave Smith.
Okay.
So Dave asked us this after the San Diego match, and I held it till today because my answer, I think, was something we just kind of tried to get across, at least on Thursday's episode. Dave said, with just 2 games left after this debacle loss to, he said San Diego, right? Now we've got, you have to clarify which game you're talking about now, where we sit on Sunday. He said, after the loss to San Diego, with just 2 games left until the World Cup break, why did we rotate so heavily? Our guys will have 2 months to rest soon. Suck it up and play all out. We can't give up any points in our current position. And my answer was because you rotated Wednesday to win this game and win this game handily on Saturday. Yeah. And now it's kind of fucked up. Yeah. Like, we'll get into all the implications of this, but that was my answer at the time. And again, it blew up in Austin's face, not our fucking face. Yeah. We're just reading the fucking book that they're putting out.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I still maintain that it was the right move to rotate on Wednesday. It's just that you could not possibly lose this fucking game. And you somehow didn't just lose. You made that team look awesome. Yeah. So, yeah, dude, I mean, I'm not going to switch up on the way I thought about it now because of what just happened with SKC. I think it was the right call. Obviously, guys like Owen, BV, Danny still working themselves back. But I don't care who the fuck you have when you play SKC at home, who has never gotten a result at Q2 Stadium, and you push all your chips in for that game, and then you go out there and lay an absolute stinker. So, I mean, yeah, maybe we should have played them all on Wednesday. I don't know because I think
could it have been fucking worse, these 2 games?
I think this is worse. This is a worse loss in my book than the 5-0 to San Diego.
I agree completely.
It's at home. You rotated entirely to make sure that you would win this game, and then you drop it 2-1. So yeah, that's the debacle can be San Diego. This is just I don't even know what to call it. A calamity, a monstrosity. Hyperbole.
Well, like, dude, you get the lineup and pumped up Owen Wolf in the starting lineup, which was a surprise because Danny Pereira off the bench. The injury report came out on Friday. Jaden Nelson off the injury report. So, like, you're feeling good. It's like, yeah, okay, the recipe has been laid out, right? We've got all the ingredients to get this 3 points at home. Again, in what should have been dominant fashion, I think. Like, dude, we were by far, out of all of the 14 games this team has played this year, we're in tune with the lines at the sports books. We had not been even close to this type of a favorite. Like, it's not just us here being like, oh, maybe we can beat these bums. Like, no, these guys are bums.
Yeah, bums.
And am I talking about Sporting or fucking Austin?
The toilet bowl told you from last night, man. And, oh, my God, dude. Right, so, like, I was looking forward to this game before Wednesday night even happened. Yeah. Because I saw it on the schedule. I know what Sporting KC is right now. I was telling people all week, better get your ass to this game. We're winning 3-0. We're partying. It's 2022 vibes. We're going to have a blast. I'm talking to my brother on the bike ride that we did yesterday morning before the game. We're just like, oh, it's going to be such a great day, dude. We're fucking riding bikes. It's beautiful out, having a wonderful day. Bump into good old AG on the trail. He's going to the game as well. I'm telling Dahl, dude, we're just scoring 3-4 goals, like smashing this team. Go through the fucking, hey, dude, these are all the stats where Sporting Kansas City is in last or dead last in the fucking league. And he just goes, wow, that's bad. And I was like, yeah, they fucking suck. We're gonna party. And then I was looking forward to this. The 5-0 Wednesday really didn't even hit me because I was just like, yeah, dude, we're doing Saturday. It's going to be great. We're going to leave Q2 for the World Cup break in like it's stellar fashion. It's going to be awesome. We'll recoup after the World Cup break and be ready to go. And holy Christ, that's the exact opposite.
I think there was a party at Q2. It was just held for the six Sporting KC fans up there in that visitors corner, and 4 of them were children. Yeah. And they're having the best fucking time.
Yeah. Celebrated all over our pitch last night. Insanity, bro.
Well, it's not just not Rosales. I mean, I was happy Rosales was in the starting lineup, but it's not just that Owen's there, but Sabovic not in the team, which is telling, right? And you get Jaden active off the bench. I'm left scratching my head a little bit at why Danny Pereira didn't start, especially if we left him behind on what did he regress with his hamstring injury or lower, right? His hamstring, right? Like, I just don't understand that. He's gone backwards with his minutes. And like, I totally thought we leave him at home Wednesday because he's going to start and get like, he was going to be in the Owen Wolf role.
Yeah.
And like, and speaking of Owen, like we'll get to it, but he didn't look good.
I don't know who said that he was ready to start because he wasn't. I like I said before about like what I want it to look like when we are at full health, and that's the starting midfield that I want. It is. We went to the game with Profe. We had a whole crew. That was the other thing. We set this shit up. We had 10, 15 fucking people.
Shout out to Aaron. Shout out to Damon for the
Correct.
tickets, right?
Yes.
Right there in the north end. But yeah, man. And again, like watching the game with Profe, awesome. AB got to come, Gmo, Ashley, right? Debo. It was P Mike.
AG.
And like it has been for so long now.
Don't even say it. Don't even say it.
All right.
Don't even say it.
Well,
because we were there to fucking party. We're getting ready to leave for the game.
There to win.
You had to go get extra confetti. I was like, you better be stocked up.
I knew you wanted to throw some last night.
Yeah.
And of course, the one goal we scored, you're not in a seat.
No. Wait, I was.
Were you?
Yeah, it was AB and Ashley. But
okay.
I mean, good fucking God. Owen. Did he look like he was ready to start?
He just didn't look like Owen Wolf to me.
No, he
at
looked,
all.
He looked slow. He looked
and some of that I don't think we should be surprised by.
Correct.
But it was to a level that did raise my eyebrows.
Yeah, looked out of shape.
And you get some rotation like Suleimanov, Manu Garcia.
Yep.
Did not start.
Nope. So they have one DP and 0 U22 initiative players, y'all, when Manu's on the bench there. And
I think one TAM guy, just Janssen.
Berg Janssen, yeah. Yep. Or is Capita? Capita might be TAM.
No,
now.
Dude.
No.
Oh, well, he actually might be because he wasn't on the roster profile, right? That when it was released because they signed him in March. So you might be right. Either way, the point stands.
Of course, yeah.
Well, let's just go ahead and get into this one. We'll just pick it up right off the rip because in the first minute, Owen gets the ball taken off of him in Austin's defensive third. Zoran Basong takes a few touches like into the box, takes a shot. It's blocked out for a corner by John Bell, and there's nothing doing on that corner. But it was the start of this embarrassment. And I highlight Owen there, but like it's not just Owen. The team as a whole just not ready to go.
Not ready to go.
And like that is on the coach, but it's also just like have some personal fucking pride as a group of professionals. Like, and I don't care if you guys are all best friends or not. Like, it's, oh my God, is it embarrassing to be a fan of this team right now? And like, we're going on plenty of stuff here, but like, I just want to get that out of the way at the top that the disappointment level for me in these players to not be able to pick themselves up in a moment like last night is just, it's deflating as shit, man.
Yeah, it's not fucking good. That's for sure. And I mean, it even started, brother. It started from the opening kick. SKC takes the opening kick, changes the field position, and then they start pressing us. Yeah. And we just looked like we just got hit, the deer in headlights. Like, what's going on? Yeah. And like, this is like, how were we not prepared for that? I guess maybe it was like maybe you expected this SKC team to come in here and kind of lay down. They got their second win of the season. Like that was huge for them. And then like, they're on short rest as well. Like maybe you expected them to be down a little bit, but they dictated the pace and the tone of this game from the jump. And you're just dinging it back and forth. And then we're trying to get some, outlet, some release play to release some of this pressure. And you can't hold on to the ball. Like this ball gets taken right off of Owen and they get a shot because of it.
Yeah.
And Owen, he walks back on this play.
Yeah. And it's not the only time. His body language was garbage last night.
Piss poor last night.
That makes me like, is there something going on with him?
Look, man, obviously when vibes are this low and the record looks like this, you smell some different odors. Sometimes your nose mistakes it for, how shitty you feel. But like there's vapors. There's vapors coming off of this team right now. And it's not just Owen Wolf either. we'll get into some other guys who I think are fucking frustrated and fed the fuck up with some of the decisions being made by this team, by some of the effort plays, by some of these other players and teammates that they have. But there's definitely some vapors for sure.
11th minute, Austin playing out of the back, which a theme early on. You mentioned that Kansas City press, having success when Austin's in possession. And here it's Owen with another loose touch. It's almost turned over, but John Bell steps in to keep possession. But then he plays a lazy pass right back to Brad that's taken away by Dejan Joveljic on the right edge of the 18. So Brad is literally like one-on-one short corner here against fucking Dejan Joveljic. And like, luckily he's able to block the initial pass attempt away and then recover to his goal. And Austin regains the ball momentarily after Mirtu hustled back to take it away. But then a poor pass by Ilie, who I thought was pretty bad on the night. His passing was horrendous.
Awful.
And it was very off kilter for what we've come to expect from him. Like in the 60 good minutes we need it.
We needed those balls to be hit to relieve some of this pressure and fucking be able to get out of this zone.
Well, it's a poor pass by Ilie that sends Calvin Harris just streaking straight up the middle. He's got Rosales on his back, but Harris fends him off, then plants with his right, rips a shot with his left, back across his body around Svatak. And Brad Stuver gets down to his left to paw this away for a corner. And I think this is a great recovery by Brad because Harris caught him leaning to his right, and Brad has to go all the way back to his left to make this save. It goes out for a corner and nothing doing on that corner, but
Two shots on target already. Two shots on target. The team with the least amount of shots on target.
There might be more because there were plenty of shots that were either blocked away or that I just didn't have. Why am I going to put this in the notes? Because it's the same fucking thing we just talked about.
Yep. This is the team with the least amount of shots on target per game. You knew that coming in, and already you're on the back fucking heel. And if you don't have a keeper as talented as Stuver, maybe one of those go in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it's crazy to think that a lesser keeper doesn't get to that.
If Sporting is any more talented than they are, too, putting some of these volleys we're going to talk about are less than a foot off the mark from some of these guys. Imagine if you're playing a real team.
Yeah. A team that didn't start the season with 15 guys in the senior fucking roster.
Yeah. 23rd minute, SKC playing, again, most of the match in Austin's half to this point, and that doesn't change as we progress here, but in the 23rd minute, they're building out of the back, and Ian James hits a pass right up the gut to Harris, who puts on the Jets. He turns Dessler around here before dragging the ball across the top of the box and takes a shot with his right foot this time, and it goes just wide of that far post. It took a slight deflection off of Dessler, so out for a corner, and nothing doing on that corner again. But third corner already for Sporting, and we have none. 3 minutes later, Austin, again, still having trouble keeping SKC out of their own end, and Harris in this moment continuing to make a huge imprint on the early parts of this game. Some tricky footwork for him to get the ball to Janssen just over midfield. Janssen chips it wide to Jay Reed on the left, and Reed drives the ball into the 18. That ball bounces once and it finds Capita, and it's well wide on this shot attempt, but it feels like everything in the first 25 minutes plus, right? It doesn't stop here, but everything is coming way too easily for the opponent in the first half hour. And by the time we get to this point in the match, we are sitting in 123, okay, this is not going to go how we thought, and it's not really in question at this point.
Yeah, no, I mean, we were lucky, you and I, that Guillermo was a buffer in between both of us last night. And a funny, jovial buffer at that. Yeah. You know what I mean? Otherwise, me and you would have just been sitting. I mean, I looked over at you 3 or 4 times, and we're just fucking staring at each other what is going on? They get 5 corners in the first fucking half of this game. Yep. They had 40 all season.
Yeah.
It's 13% of your fucking corners came in the first half of this game.
Yeah, dude. Yep. And it's 28th minute. You do get the first yellow card of the match to Capita for taking down Biru on a potential breakaway. 5 minutes later, SKC back on the move. Great spin move by Basong to win the ball in a challenge with Rosales in the midfield there. Calhiera, again, who's super draft pick from 2 years ago, I think, second career start in MLS.
Yep.
He ends up with a shot attempt. That gets blocked out for a corner once again by John Bell. And before that corner is taken, you notice Marcos de Oliveira, the head official, he stops play, goes over to signal at Nico Bosch to get back in the coaching box. Dude, he was maybe 15 yards outside of it.
Yeah.
And then the corner comes in and it's headed away, but only as far as Basong near the top of the 18, and he volleys one back across that goes wide of the far post. But again, it's the opponent that has all of the juice in this one so far. And like, if we weren't like, if everybody wasn't on high alert now, like we're getting to the 40th minute here, and it's like, again, Lamurga's doing their thing, all of that, but like there is no energy in this stadium, and it's completely the fault of the home team. Like we say with individual players all the time, like you guys have to give us something to be excited about. You do not just get this endless fucking, like there are some fans who will fan that way. Endless amounts of positivity that will continue to flow from them, and that's awesome. And I respect that type of energy, but that's not what I have, and I don't think that's what your average fan anywhere is going to have either.
Yeah. It's way less common to have that continuous stream of energy and like enthusiasm and support when what you're seeing before
and you're going
to
lose it. You're going to lose it.
Yep. I mean, I feel like most of the time I have that kind of energy where I'm positive and like I'm trying to be there for I want my fucking team to win. But to your point, I gotta be excited about something here. Do we have a highlight yet? We've talked about Stuver saves and SKC beating the piss out of us in the first half of this game. And like, I'm looking at the stats while we're going through shit here and everything. And it's like Austin, 51% possession in this first half, right? But then you go ahead and you look at the momentum tracker on Fatma, and it's all blue. It's literally all blue. So you had the ball, you were doing absolutely nothing with it. Profe, at this point, it has leaned into, I'm just going to cheer if we pass the ball forward.
Yeah.
So like he got up
and he's cheering like 3 times.
I know, and he also was right because you're just dinging it back and forth. We have tons of guys on the ball who aren't doing shit. And like, we're driving up to the game, right? And I'm talking to Dahl and AG about how excited I am that Owen's in there because I anticipated fully that he would be the guy sucking towards the middle of the field to be receiving these line-breaking passes, which would keep Facu on the wing position where he's more comfortable and then open up overloads on that side of the field where you absolutely have the more talented players flooding that side of the field. You can work a 3-man game with Azuni coming over as well. If Owen and Facu are there, you got Ramirez who can move over. So like I'm fully expecting that. And then the whole fucking first half, I'm just watching Facu play on the left side of the field. Yeah. He's just running over. And I know that some of the, like, and I got into it with Profe a little bit where it was just like, we just took a corner. Like he's over there. He's filling that. And we just took a free kick. But there was plenty of times where Facu's just coming over to the other side of the field. I was like, what's Owen out there doing that? Because we talked about his struggles early. Yeah. He's not touching the ball now. He's even more disinterested in this game, and he is removed from it, essentially.
Well, and if Facu's continuing to float over centrally and towards that left side, like we got some good things off that overload, and like we do get the eventual goal off of that. But it's not like Owen's providing a ton of width over there, and Facu's nowhere to be seen on that right wing, and we're not really playing with fullbacks that are allowed to release. Like Guilherme will go up there, obviously. He does, like he assists the goal here, but like. I think one thing I was saying a lot towards the end of the first half and then at halftime, even after the goal is scored, is like I didn't see any sort of adjustments being made by Austin. And maybe some of that Facu like coming to create that overload on the left was, but like it just never changed the momentum of the game. And the goal we get to here in a minute is completely against the run of play. So like 41st minute here, and we still, like you said, are not to an Austin highlight in the notes. Yep. This is I'm pretty sure this is the longest we've ever been in a game recap where I didn't see something where I was like, oh, well, we can stick this in there because that was a momentum changer or at least a notable portion, like highlight of the game. By having the notes here, 41st minute, Sporting KC styling on Austin, and it's 0-0. Yeah, like it's not like they have a lead, but they're playing with that much confidence, just like dancing around our defense, especially in the midfield here in this moment, like just above the penalty area, a bunch of tight touches and passes, and they end up winning a foul on Mirtu. On the free kick, it's Janssen sending it around the wall, right to Stuver, but there's enough power on it to cause Brad to spill it out to his right. Capita catches up to it. his effort back towards the middle gets blocked away by Svatok for another corner. On that corner, the ball is once again cleared away to the top of the box where Basong tries another kind of twisting volley that's off the mark. But the shots at this point, I think, are 12-1. And we're headed towards stoppage time in the next few minutes. And the frustration levels are palpable around the stadium. It ain't just us. We're not the only ones with tight butthole in there.
Yeah, and like you talked about, the confidence SKC had that they were playing with. They're like, hey, we can beat these guys. You know what I mean? Like, they felt that way right off the start of this game. They said, we can beat these dudes. They came out and they fucking did it.
45th minute, it's Austin with the rarity on the night, completing a forward pass right up the gut from Rosales to Facu, and Torres turns and sprints forward with the ball before changing the field out to Ramirez on the right. A little bit much on the pass. It causes Christian to have to chase it down, stands on top of that ball, like right near the top right corner of the 18-yard box, and that allows KC to recover defensively, and the threat appears to be neutralized, as it has been pretty continuously here through the first half. But it's Ramirez dropping it to Dessler. Austin swings it around the back right to left. And then when it gets to that left side, we get one of those overloads you were mentioning. Facu, Owen, Biru combining, and they combine. Biru gets a ton of space here on a pass from Owen. All that space to put in across towards the back post. It goes over Ramirez and the guy marking him to the foot of Mikel Dessler all alone, and he volleys it right back across and into the net for the lead out of basically nowhere here.
Yeah.
But Austin's up 1. That's the last kick of the half. And, dude, before that shot, Austin had 2 touches in the opposing penalty area. And, again, that's the last kick of the half. Want to give Biru credit for a good cross, put it into a dangerous area, and a ton of credit to Mikel Dessler for this finish. Because I will say this about all 3 goals. All 3 goals in this game are pretty well done by those individual players who finished them. It's just unfortunate that we only had 1 of them.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, 2 touches in their box in the entire first half. Like you said, that's it. It can't. I don't know what else to say other than that cannot happen. Like, it's just mind-boggling that you would find yourself in the situation where you gave this team any hope from the start of the game. And I personally think that this goal is a little bit of a fucking curse in disguise here. Like, you got thoroughly outplayed the entirety of that first half. You get this goal right, like you said, out of the run of play, a fantastic goal from Dessler. I think P. Mike turns to me and is like, you'll never see Dessler do that again. I was like, yeah,
I think it's his 6th career league goal.
Okay, yeah. And like the way he hit it, the strike, it was a class goal.
Yeah,
for sure. So you're probably feeling a little good about yourself.
Escaped with a 1-0. Yeah, and now you would think maybe you can pull them out. They're going to press a little bit higher and like come out of that configuration that they're in, right? The cohesion that they showed in their press. Sorry to interrupt, but like I was right there with you at half. We're standing up there. Everybody's like, oh, like we scored, but like, do we feel good about it? Like, yes, of course, on the surface, but again, fool's gold.
Yeah, fool's gold, a really good way to put it. And like, which obviously we're going to get into it, you know, with the coach and the head coaching staff and what's going on there. I personally don't think, and I can't verify this, that Nico was overly upset about that first half with how it ended there, because you see us come out in the second half, we're sitting back.
Yeah.
Like we should have been torn. You should have been torn into for that performance. You got this fool's gold goal. And like, it didn't even feel, you know what I mean? You couldn't really feel it in the stadium that we're up 1-0, because you're looking at the scoreboard there, 12 shots to 3. It's ridiculous.
When coming out of the half, there's no changes for either team. I did see our buddy Justin say in a chat, like, is it possible to smash and grab a home game after that goal? And 47th minute is where Jake Davis gets a yellow card on his first foul in the second half. Persistent infringement. I thought he should have got one in the first half just because of the accumulation of fouls there. Nothing was overly egregious, I thought. But 50th minute, SKC right back on the front foot, man, to start things up again. And the ball finds Harris, who was just a menace for us on the night. Or against us on the night, not for us. Like Harris, he's just inside the penalty area on the right. He maneuvers around John Bell for some space and unleashes a shot with his left. I mean, ambidexterity, I think is how you would say it, right? The ambidextrous with his feet. This guy's shooting with his left and right.
Yep.
And just threatening every time, man. And like Stuver parries that one away, but we're just making guys like Calvin Harris look like a much better player than he actually is.
Yep, absolutely. And like, this is when I hinted at it earlier. This is when you start to smell those vapors from Stuver, where you see the body language, you see the frustration on his face after some of these defensive lapses where you're just letting dudes fucking tee off on him, which has been the story of his career here in Austin. And like, I'd be pissed too. He should be pissed, and rightfully so. And it's building with him. I don't think we've seen him as animated as we had. Like, you had the San Jose in that game where you saw him a couple times, like, you mother effers, and then you see him in the San Diego, it's like, you mother effers. You know what I mean? And like, here in this SKC game, he's doing the same thing, and it's just like the body language doesn't look good with him either. And if you're losing him, whoo.
56th minute, SKC again putting pressure on Austin. In this moment, there's a turnover by Janssen after Owen puts in a nice tackle here, and Austin's off on a 3-on-3 breakaway. He's got Facu with the ball centrally, Owen Wolf to his right, Mirtu Izuni to his left. Christian Ramirez trailing the play kind of in the left channel there, and Facu just takes a heavy touch and dribbles it right to Ian James, who just kicks it away to a teammate, and the threat is over before it started. And like, again, you come back to Facu's chance in San Diego, where you get one of the best shots of the game. Don't score it. You don't even get a shot off here. And like the aesthetics of just dribbling it right to the 17-year-old center back over there, I think Ian James is going to be a good player, I think.
Yeah.
But like the way it looked and the way it felt, it changed. It was another one of those energy changing moments inside the stadium, I thought. And a very easy play to point to where it's like, have we done the best to put Facu in situations where he can succeed? I think the answer is no, because of some of the shorthandedness that we've dealt with on the injury report so far this season. But has he also played up to the level of what we'll get into, our highest paid player? I also think the answer is no.
Yeah, and like you said there, the optics of your DP dribbling the ball off of his foot directly to an 18-year-old center back when you have a break here and you're looking, you score a second goal, game's over. And the party that I was talking about all week very well could be on. Very well could be on here. And this has been a bit of, a pattern with Facu here, man. It just seems like there's these big moments and you expect a DP highest played player to be shining in those moments. That's when you're like, yeah, dude, I'm a step above all you other guys. Like, you are relegates, So it's just like, and I've talked about that before, right? Like, as this season has progressed, where it's just like, we were super beat up. I understand all those things. We're limited with the talent that we're out there. But if you're a DP and you're the guy, you know what I mean? Like we're talking about with like Ant going into a game 7 versus the Spurs. It's like, makes your heart beat a little bit faster. You know what I mean? And like, we just don't have one of those guys out there right now. And like, Facu might be a little fortunate that most of the ire and eyes go to Mirtu.
Yeah. Don't think I disagree there. It's 57th minute. Svatok picks up a yellow for a foul on Harris. Alexander doesn't like it. I don't know how we argue against that one not being a yellow, though. And 3 minutes later in the 60th, first changes for Austin. It's John Gallagher and Jaden Nelson in for Owen Wolf and Christian Ramirez, which moves Mirtu like up top, Facu centrally now underneath him, Nelson left, Gallagher on the right. And then in the next minute, yellow card to Ilie for a hard foul on Joveljic, and there was no argument from Ilie, and rightfully so. You have anything to add on those subs? I mean, getting 60 out of Owen, if you would have told me that coming to the game, I would be like, awesome.
Yeah, dude.
And I don't feel awesome about it.
No. And I mean, like, again, going back to how I thought this was party week for us, it was also because it's like, hey, we've been waiting for this all year. We've been waiting for a healthy Owen Wolf to get in there. We've been waiting for a healthy BV to be ready and available. And we're right there. We're still not all the way there where those guys are fully back. And, like, I've had Jaden Nelson's back. I think the decisions that he's making in regard to his body, taking care of himself and his health are the right decisions that Jaden Nelson needs to make for Jaden Nelson. But when you come in and you play the way you played last night, you're going to be riling up a little bit more of the fan base who's already got a potential slight against you for how this situation is playing out.
Yeah.
But he wasn't ready to play. Absolutely not. He comes in this game, multiple turnovers, multiple bad decisions, gets a yellow card, just was not ready to go.
Yeah.
And again, that goes back to the coach.
Yeah.
It does. And we've always talked about the professionalism of guys, and that's why there's plenty of guys who that's the first thing we talk about with them. It's like, he's a professional. He's going to go out there. He's going to be ready to do his job. He's going to come to play. Sometimes when that's not there with guys, you have to get them, you have to make them be sure that they're ready to fucking play. And there was guys all over the field last night who just weren't ready to play in a game you had already pushed all your chips in on.
Yeah. 62nd minutes, Dessler whistled for a foul on Reed. Then Mikel stands over him yelling and signaling dive. And dude, on the replay, he's exactly right. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you remember. I'm pretty sure I said to you in the moment, I thought that's why the head official let Dessler stand over him and do that, because he knew he got fooled by the flop. And a minute later, yellow card to Basong for a foul in transition, trying to stop a counter. And you also get Garcia and Reynolds in for Basong and Davis on the SKC side of things. 68th minute, Manu Garcia turns it over, and John Gallagher is able to tap it to Mirtu on the run. It's a 2-on-3 here. Nelson coming in on Mirtu's right, and he opts for a shot that's just right, or I think Nelson was on Mirtu's left, rather. But Mirtu takes a shot with his right that just goes straight at Cleveland, and Sporting quickly goes the other way. I don't hate the shot there, but I also think he could take another touch, rather, get a little bit closer, and potentially let Jaden get to a place where if there's a rebound chance that Nelson's able to put that home. So I thought it was a beat too soon on that shot attempt, but I don't hate the 2-on-3 that you're going to take a shot there because there's not a ton of help arriving. I
don't hate the shot either. Can you shoot like Calvin Harris? Can we make this a better attempt?
Steven Afrifa?
Make the goalkeeper do something. You make Stephen Cleveland, our backup goalkeeper from fucking last year, do something here.
Yeah.
Who lost to Dinah Dose.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. 70th minute and let in 2 against El Paso.
Yep.
70th minute, Sporting again, just at home in the Austin final third. And it's crazy they haven't scored yet.
Nope, it's insane. I was just thinking about that. I'm looking at the momentum tracker again, obviously, reliving all these nightmares from fucking last night. It's who was winning this game at this point in time? Who was the team who is up, who is home, who has to win?
Yep.
Because it didn't look like Austin. Sorry.
No, I agree. Here it's a ball from Garcia in behind to Harris on the left, and he kind of goes down, slides to it, trying to beat Brad, but Stuver's able to scoop that ball up. And it may have been offside, but again, the tide is not turning here.
Nope.
It's the next minute where Jaden picks up a yellow for delaying a restart, and 72nd minute, Sporting right back on the attack. It's Manu Garcia, just line-splitting pass again to Calvin Harris, and Harris drives into the 18 on the left, squares it to Joveljic, who lets it run through to Suleimanov at the top of the 18, and he kind of pump fakes Biru and Bell with his right, and then takes a shot with his left. Stuver makes the save of the night, paws it away with just his right mitt as he's going to ground, and preserves the clean sheet for the moment. And one of the only times on the night where I stood up in celebration, because that was a fantastic save.
I thought that save right there won us the game.
Yeah.
So I was just okay.
Are they getting a better chance than that?
Yes. Are you going to get a better chance than that? And are you going to beat Stuver with it? When he got this save, I was like, okay, we're going to win this game 1-0. And the situation that you and I had talked about where it's 3-0 party, 4-0 party, we're going to have, but I'll walk out of there with a little, smirk on my face with a 1-0 win, a smash and grab at home, if you will. I really did think we were winning the game after this moment in time. But what makes this even more baffling is that we routinely have 8 or 7 dudes in the box here when these passes are coming through.
Yeah.
What is happening?
Yeah. I'm just getting picked apart. And 73rd minute, it was next dead ball. You get Danny and BV on for Ilie and Facu. So again, it's a odd circumstance for me here with Danny's minutes, and you leave him at home, but then he comes off the bench and only plays as much as BV. So was there a setback with his hammy over the last couple days or weeks? And BV coming on about when we expected, right? That elevated minutes limit, which was good to see. And right after the subs, ball finds Brandon. after it's pinged around the midfield. Vasquez corrals it and plays it left to right to Mirtu, who slides it on to Gallagher on the overlap, and Galley's cross is blocked out for a corner by Reed. And Austin's first corner of the night, 74th minute on that service. Rosales puts it towards the back post where BV rises up, nods it back where it came from, but wide of the target. Man, I thought he was going to put that home.
Yeah, and I mean, Joe, again, obviously, I think he plays an aggressive, good game, but those passes into the final third that we have been seeing from him really weren't present last night the way that they have been, at least in the last 3 games. And I don't know if that's a combination of Owen, being more involved in this and like taking up some of that space. I'm not entirely sure, but I still think that he's one of the field players who stood out for me, who loves the game, like Guilherme Biru does. Because Biru was fine last night. He was more than fine last night.
Well, and I think too with Rosales, and again, maybe this is incorrect, but I feel like he had less time on the ball. Or like when he was on the ball, there was a lot more defensive attention being paid to him, probably because the Sporting KC coaches saw this guy's making all the passes into the final third, so shut him down.
Yep.
And the fucking sprint he had in the first half against Capita to get to the corner, like, again, one of those moments where you're like, I love this dude.
Yeah, we looked at each other, just like, God, this guy's the fucking man. Yep. Hair looks
70. Yeah, 75th minute, Afrifa on for Calhiera, and 77th minute, Austin wins the ball off Suleimanov. Danny stepped in front of him there, and he pings it to Mirtu, who lays it back off to Danny on a nice give and go, and Austin's got a 3-on-1 as Danny finds Brandon Vasquez center right. He's got a Zuni trailing him a step to his left, and Jaden sprinting in off the left wing. And BV opts for a shot here from 18 that he just puts right at Cleveland. Cleveland parries it up and over for a corner, but goddamn, man, this is not just a goal right there.
Dagger.
And hell, 2 goals. Because if you pass that, Mirtu could score it, and if he fucking swings and misses and falls on his ass, there's enough time for Jaden Nelson to knock it in anyways. And it gave me vibes of last fucking year when these guys are all new together, and every game there's an open goal that we don't pass to a teammate and we just miss out on. And I think I'm feeling worse about it now because of the result. But like, I'd be lying if I said I didn't think about that in the moment, because Azuni and Nelson both rightfully upset at Brandon here, man. Like, if you are Superman, was the highest paid player before we signed Facu this year, you know the role you're supposed to be playing on this team. You gotta see that.
Yeah,
you have to see that because it's a tap in, and if you score, the game is over.
Dagger. Night. I mean, that to me with the BV thing there, right? Like, again, I'm not gonna be able to get into his head entirely, but it's a guy who's pressing, coming back from injury, who wants to lift that first goal and have it off of his shoulders.
For sure.
You know what I mean? So he's pressing here, and it's the wrong decision. And like, for as much leeway as you got from me and plenty of other fans for the injuries with this team and the lack of success that was taking place over the first, portion of this season, that doesn't still mean like that at the end, the margin of error becomes even slimmer because you have to make up that ground from earlier in the season when you were not healthy. And a decision like this leads to you drop. I mean, you lost 3 points. It wasn't all on BV, but again, if you score this goal here, which is an easy play to be making, it's over.
Yeah, there's nothing doing on Austin's corner kick there, and Sporting goes the other way. They end up winning a ball in the middle of the Austin half after Vasquez can't control a pass from Svatok, and Manu Garcia is on it now with options and time. And he slides it out to Suleimanov on the right, and the Russian winger drives right at Biru into the 18 and draws a second defender before laying it off to Garcia, who takes one touch and just buries a rocket of a shot inside the far post to equalize. And I don't think Brad's getting to that.
Nope.
I don't think that's on him at all. I think sometimes you got to credit the offense, and in this moment, to me, I file it under that category. Yep. Great shot.
A great shot, but also I think poor defense. Another situation where we got 7 dudes just fucking standing watching the ball.
Yeah.
And, and obviously it's been a large talking point with this team about, after the 75th minute, how many goals have been conceded thus far and everything. And it's like, Well, yeah, if you're going to be taking on this amount of pressure for an entire second half of a game, you're going to crack it. You're going to get stale. You know what I mean? It doesn't look like that's fun soccer to just be sitting back there waiting, and this is a great shot. And SKC easily could have had 3 goals by now. Like, they very well could have been up 3 goals at this point in time.
Yep. And 3 minutes later, Sporting is certainly not sitting back content with the point now. And it's Meyer playing a long ball that's flicked on at midfield by Joveljic into the path of Harris. And Harris gets around John Bell, and as Stuver tries to come out to scoop this ball up, Harris gets there first, takes a touch around Stuver, and then another as Brad's chasing him around the 18 now. And Harris sends a shot into the side netting. That probably should have been the second goal.
Mm-hmm.
On that goal kick, Bartlow comes in for James, and Austin restarts the ball short. Ball goes left to right from Bell to Dessler, and it forces Mikel to head it forward and back to SKC. And Kansas plays it quickly to Garcia, who turns around Rosales, and he's dragged to the ground as he releases this pass today on Joveljic. John Bell slides in, gets that ball away, but it comes right to the foot of Steven Afrifa at the top left corner of the box, and he takes a couple touches to put the moves on Bell before curling a shot that pings off the underside of the crossbar and in. And Sporting KC leads 2-1 inside the last 10 minutes. The air is completely sucked out of Q2, and for good reason, man. And for the second time in as many years, I started booing this team, and I've no apologies for that. That's trash out there, man. Trash. It's unacceptable what you guys have been putting out there in the field. And it starts at the top all the way down to the guy in the last supplemental slot. Mm-hmm. You guys have been bad. And that's putting it nicely.
That is putting it nicely. And, I'll jump back to Stuver having to play actual defense for the second time in this fucking game versus the team with the whatever. You get fortunate there. This shot, I think he gets a little lucky. I think he surprises himself, where this goes, but it's on target. It's dangerous. John Bell just got exposed on the ball once again. And now we get the team huddle after.
Yeah, I was going to say, what did you think about Stuver calling the guys together at midfield? I think for me, I don't hate Stuver doing that. I think it's too late. And I don't think I don't think any of that is resonating, because if it did, that talk would have been had at fucking halftime.
Correct. That's the writing was on the wall at halftime on that game. It was right there. It was, oh my God, you guys are getting outplayed, getting your ass beat by a team that looks hungrier, looks more desperate, looks more well coached, looks more organized. And I get it why Stuver's doing that. I do. I really do. He's the leader. I understand all that. But to your point, it's not hitting. It's not landing. And that needs to take place at halftime or in a moment where you can really fucking lay into some people here. And I mean, this is again, probably the lowest I've been with this club. I mean,
it has to be. Because, dude, even going back to a Violette, right? That's 5 games after we're in the fucking Western Conference Final.
Yeah.
To get to the Western Conference Final as the 2 seed, that meant a full season of relative success in the league. Top 4 in the Shield.
Mm-hmm.
It was that's why the reaction is different from the majority of fans. Because now, and we'll get to Nico's comments, but now we're going on 4 fucking years of bad soccer.
Yeah.
Mid at best. You guys were 6th seed, well earned. But it was fucking ugly to get there last year. Yeah. And it was an ugly Open Cup run. There's going to be some luck involved there, and you're going to have to grind out some results. But, if you go through the full body of work there, you're down 2 to fucking El Paso, right? Mm-hmm. Houston starts coming back on you at the end. You're tightening up there. You got to go to extras and pens with San Jose. Extras with Minnesota to win at the CJ Miracle goal at the end.
Yep.
Again, there's just not, it's 4 years now. Mm-hmm. So yes, of course, when we fucking lose to the team at home, after we on purpose basically punted in the midweek,
on purpose,
went worse than you could ever have imagined.
Yeah.
And then you lay that egg at home last night. Again, you guys, the club, Austin FC, you are going to lose the support Look at Houston.
Yeah.
Look at Dallas. And these teams are better than us right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I just think we'll talk about it because you close this one out. 85th minute, CJ comes on for Mikael Dessler. 86th minute. Yeah, yellow card to CJ for a sliding challenge. I got no issue with that. Did anybody else who was watching at home or potentially watched the replay catch in the 89th minute when there is a video game style game over?
Yeah.
Did you see that?
Yeah.
What is that? And holy shit, is that eerie?
Yeah.
Is that an Austin fan working in the truck that said that? Or is it a KC fan trolling? What the heck? Where did that come from? Because holy shit, is that timely?
Yeah, seriously. That was fucking freaky as hell. I have no idea what happened there.
It's 46% possession for Austin at the end of this one. 20 shots to 8 in favor of Sporting KC. 8 shots on target to 3. I know you pointed this out, but I'm going to do it here as well. Sporting KC, 20 total shots. Austin FC, 13 touches in the opposing box. 0 big chances for Austin. 2 big chances for Sporting, and they missed both of them.
Yep. Could have got ran here.
7 corners to 3 in favor of Sporting Kansas City. 0.37 XG for Austin on FOTMob's model to 1.52 for Sporting. And I think the expected goals on target is much more accurate. 0.91 for Austin, 2.35 for Sporting KC. And again, Brad Stuver increases his goals prevented on FOTMob with this performance. So it ain't number 1.
Nope. Never has been. That's for fucking sure. Embarrassing. I just flat out.
The heat map.
This is disgusting. This. I mean, stuff like this can lie at certain points in time, and it can be deceiving. And everyone talks about numbers don't lie and shit. Like you can manipulate them to make it. But when you see some shit like this against this team in your house after you lost on purpose Wednesday, how does this happen? It cannot happen. That's it. I'm done. I'm pulling the plug.
Yeah.
I'm out.
Dude, it's not even Corncob TV would show the replay of this fucking game.
I mean, we're so bad at this point, we might get our own fucking TV special on Corncob. Watch right after Coffin Flop, it's Austin Flop. I don't know what to tell you.
Oh my god!
But they keep dropping points at home because of the shit wood. This is fucking embarrassing, man.
Yeah, it's disgusting.
Pathetic. Disgusting. Everyone involved with this last night, hang your head. Shameful to do that. For this to be the last fucking taste at home we have with this club for the next 2 months. Come on, man. Fans deserve better than that. The organization deserves better than that. I still personally think the players deserve better than that. You guys deserve better than to be dropping games to fucking a team. Once again, had 15 players, y'all, to start the season on the senior roster. They were paying fines.
And they got 16 now?
Yeah, they're not even there yet. Like, they're paying fines for not reaching the roster. This is like a fantasy football owner who's just like not managing his team for the first half of the fucking season.
They're Taco.
Yeah.
We lost to Taco.
Unbelievable embarrassment to lose this game. And not just lose this game, and I said this before, where it's like, oh, lucky goal, deflection, blah, 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 some shitty stuff happens. You got your ass beat. You got whooped. Styled on.
You look at the passes in the final third. Of course, there's not many last night, but it's John Bell and Stuver now. And then look at the third is number 8. So Danny comes in and immediately makes an impact.
Mm-hmm.
Where's he? What is going on? Why did he not start?
I don't know. And then you look at particularly when you see where threes is on this chart right now. And we know that we were trying to overload that side and get him involved and work some action on that side. You can even tell from this, but if you watch the game, of course you knew that. And like, obviously I know there's rust with threes. Oh my God.
64% field tilt.
Insane.
They're just living in your house.
Just literally just partying all over the place. Look at that line.
I know. That's the highest line we've seen.
That's the most disrespectful thing about this game.
They're just camped.
They were playing at midfield. That is a
fucking God, dude.
that is disrespectful if you're a player.
Yeah.
That's like not getting guarded in a hoop game.
Yeah.
Like, don't worry about that, dude. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you know what a winner fucking does? Steph Castle, you put Rudy Gobert on him 6 fucking threes.
Yeah, beat his ass.
Me. And
yeah. You want this?
And we sat out there and passed the ball.
Yeah. You want this? You're going to get it now. Fucking holy hell, man. Fucking embarrassing. And, and it's like you talked about the pride thing, right? And you just saw a lot of guys disconnected from one another last night. We're talking about the frustrations with Stuver, the weirdness with how Owen looked last night. And, obviously I'm not giving up on threes, and I also understood and expected some rust and some time to acclimate back into, his eventual form here. But why'd he start?
Yeah.
Why?
He didn't look ready.
He did not look ready at all.
Game score, 0.16. So
Beautiful.
you take that San Diego game score, cut it in half.
There you go.
That's what you put out there against the worst team in the league, and it was a hell of a fucking press conference, as you can imagine, from Coach Estevez. And I think both of us in watching that once we got home last night wanted to credit the entirety of the press corps that was assembled there, because it seemed like to me that they handled themselves very, very well in a very tough environment and asked good questions and stayed on balance and, turn the screws on a coach that needs to be, at the very least, having his seat on fire. Again, I'll just come out and say it. I don't think Nico Estevez should be the coach of our team today.
Nope. I'm right there with you. I mean, who else just fired their coach?
Columbus. And oh my God, dude. And that's their new coach.
Mm-hmm.
Play 14 games or something. I don't have to look at the table to know that they're above us.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way they're below us. They might be. Let me check. But the point remains.
Yeah.
If Columbus can do that, come on, man.
They're on 13 points from 14 games. We're on 14 from 14. So.
Well, more points per game.
There you go.
No, for them, not for us.
No, I know. Yeah, dude. I think last year was a success in totality.
Sure.
For what happened. I still believe that. I still understand the injuries and what happened and took place, things outside of your control to get this season going. But even with the successful season, when I said it 3-4 weeks ago, I think, where it's just like, you might have had your only chance to win a trophy if you're Nico. You might have. I'm not a fortune teller. I'm not sure. You might be a guy who only gets one chance in his career and it didn't go your way. Because I have absolutely no faith that this is a dude who elevates a club to the point of winning trophies and to the point of what we want and what we've heard from ownership and management, that we want sustained success year over year, moving forward, being a club that's in this league as a dominant figure. And when we dropped the Open Cup this year, that was your only chance to win a trophy this year. That was it. That was your one shot. And you fucking went out in the most embarrassing fashion possible.
Yeah.
Embarrassing. And,
that was 5 weeks ago. And
I know.
Since then, we've lost, got pumped 5-1, 5-0, and 2-1 to Sporting at home.
Yep. It's just.
What? Where? Not even in MLS. Can you go through a stretch like we just did and keep your job?
Yeah.
Not unless you have something from the year before or a title 2 years ago. You have to have some sort of success before. And while we think last year relative to expectation was there were plenty of positives there.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, you have to take the next step on the staircase, on the ladder, climb to the next rung. And we fell.
Yeah.
Maybe to the bottom of this. Are we anywhere but the bottom of the landing right now?
Yeah. I mean, with Nico, man, it's just become this thing where it's just like, what have we looked to and I'm just like, damn, you coached us to 3 points that game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, I know dudes are hurt. I know they're banged up, but really good coaches are capable of that. They're capable of being like, we're going to find a way here. You know what I mean? And like, it just
You're supposed to be a defensive coach.
Yeah.
The defense sucks.
Sucks.
And I know Heinz Ike is out. That's not a fucking excuse.
No. God, no. God. And also, you know what? And the other thing that makes me all the way on board with I want sweeping changes to the coaching staff. I'm talking Arnaud too. You've been around. I don't know what you're really bringing here. Obviously, retain Nico Bosch, but like
I think you clean everybody.
Everybody, okay,
yeah.
This is a get out of jail free card that we're rolling up on
summer
here.
break. Yeah,
you have been gifted this opportunity to get a fresh start, have a new preseason. Put all of this first half of the season or first, whatever. I don't know if it's not a half yet, but like
that's not 19 is the halfway mark.
Put this behind you
and
start fresh, healthy with a guy that we've brought in who has the principles we want to play, who's putting in a new formation, schematics, whatever, in that 2-month break.
And
some new players. And some new players. It has to happen. Like it's a get out of jail free card. And that's not Nico's fault. But there's a lot of things that I'm pointing to where it's just like, yeah, that's your fault. That's your fault. I'm sorry. This is the gig, man.
It comes with a job.
This is the job. I'm sorry. You know what I mean? Like, be a social media coordinator, like some other people.
A couple quotes from Coach. He said, SKC is in a desperate situation. You could see that they showed that. And we didn't show that. It's not that they won because of a quality game. It was more like second actions, second balls. And then from there, you analyze also the goals are coming from transitions, from situations like that. And it's something that we address now.
They beat your ass.
Yeah.
This wasn't what do you mean not a good game?
And where's our desperate? Why are we not desperate?
You lost the last game on purpose. I know. We lost. How could you be more desperate than being like, hey, dudes, we're not fucking playing this Wednesday game because we're kicking ass on Saturday?
I mean, like I do want to pull this up, I guess, after we talk about Nico's quote where he says, the first thing is the franchise has, again, this, if you don't want to raise your blood pressure level, don't go watch this presser. But if you want to hear and see, like, this to me came off like a guy where the walls are closing in.
Yep.
My interpretation last night, again, more emotional than I am right now at that point, but like, I thought this was a guy who was getting fired today. And it's clearly not happening today, at least. And so, like he says, there's just so many baffling parts of this. Where he goes, the first thing is the franchise has 6 years and has made the playoff 2. I've made 1. Then, I mean, the evaluation, or I think the evaluation has to be at the end of the season, right? It gives time to see if I can get the team in the playoffs, because at the end of the day, I perceive, because of these 6 years, and some of the years didn't go in the right way, grabbing all of these years that I wasn't here, for me, it's like I'm having a bad 5 months. We played a final that was in the first, it was the first final in history of the club, and no one expected that. And not so many teams play finals. And then we qualify for the playoff. Then in this moment, my lower moment in the club, the first thing to address is to be realistic on what position you're in. But the other thing is, I feel like I'm covering with 4 years that I wasn't here. And I feel sometimes that when you talk about the franchise, where the franchise is, you're talking about 6 years of the franchise, but I've only been in here 1.5 years, and I don't think it's fair. And I think it's an interesting tactic to say the team sucked before I got here, so don't blame me for sucking while I'm here.
Yeah.
And I wanted to credit Phil West for compiling this on Verde All Day, so if you don't subscribe, go do that. Both Phil and Moises putting in the hard work there. We'll talk about a scoop that Moises had here in a moment, but this is the list of points dropped due to goals let in from winning or tied positions at the 68th minute or later. Austin has dropped 15 points in 14 games from winning or drawing positions after the 68th minute. February 22nd, opener, right? Goal allowed in the 90th minute. Turn the 2-1 lead into the 2-2 draw. That's 2 points dropped. At Charlotte, March 7th, goals allowed at 68 and the 93rd, turning a 1-1 draw into a 3-1 loss. 1 point dropped. March 14th at RSL, goal allowed in the 88th, turns a 1-1 draw into a 2-1 loss. Another point dropped. That's 4 total. At Miami, April 4th, allowed a goal in the 82nd, turned a 2-1 lead into a 2-2 draw, 2 points dropped, 6 total. April 18th at Toronto, goal allowed in the 88th minute, turns 3-2 lead into a 3-3 draw, 2 points dropped, 8 total. April 22nd at San Jose, goals allowed at 78, 83, 85, and 89, turning a 1-1 draw into a 5-1 loss, 2 points dropped, 10 total. May 10th, at Minnesota, goals allowed at 69 and 77, turning a 1-0 lead into a 2-1 deficit, 2 points dropped, and with Verde scoring a goal at the 79th to equalize, that's 12 total. And last night, goals allowed at 79 and 82, turning a 1-0 lead into a 2-1 loss, 3 points dropped, 15 total. Again, I don't know how you can, because who keeps their job through this?
Yeah.
And it's nothing. Nico, by all accounts, from everything that I can tell, is a great person. But you know what? I don't give a shit about that if he's a bad coach for my favorite team. I want my favorite team to win. And as long as you're not breaking any laws or having crazy shit going off the field, I don't care if everybody likes you. I want to fucking win. Yeah. And we're not. And there is zero sign that is going to turn around anytime soon. Zero.
Yeah.
And is this team responding to the coach? Because I think it's a resounding no.
Yeah, that's the other most damning thing about it. And Nico can talk about reevaluating, am I able to get this team to the playoffs? But it's just all right, make the playoffs. What are you doing there? You matched up with Vancouver. That's gonna go good. You know what I mean? And that's where it's been. It's just I don't do I think that Nico could get this team to the playoffs by the end of the season if he keeps his job? I do. I believe that. Do I think that would propel us to a point where it's okay, you're gonna upset one of these top dogs in the Western Conference and make some sort of noise? God, no. And I think that's where it becomes a separation between that's why I don't think you're the right guy. Because I want to win some silverware for the love of God. Yep. I want to get it. And shout out to fucking Moises and Phil for last night. Both of them were awesome and on fire. And, I'm not envious of Nico being up there. And I do think that he gets his point across where it's just there's really nothing that I can say here about this. That's the job, man. I'm sorry. That's the gig. That's what comes with this territory. So those are just damning results. I think obviously the Charlotte, you're down a man in that game. I can't be too upset about that one. Minnesota, obviously weird, bad shit has happened with this team, but you can't just be to your point where it's we sucked for 4 years. Why does it matter if I suck now? It's weird shit has happened. It's been bad, but it's at the same time, you just haven't been good overall. You can have bad luck and still be shitty. Those are, you know what I mean? That can be a thing. It's not just because you're bad. There isn't some fucking god out there, manipulating everything. We're just oh, you suck.
You can be.
Here's a little fortune for you. Yeah.
You are.
Yeah.
You are shitty. You're a spoon contender. Yeah, right now, you are. And that's horseshit. It's unacceptable. And it's a fucking joke if something's not done. Because why does he still have a job today? What are you going to go let him next week and then do it after? What if you win? That doesn't change anything.
Yeah.
What's the holdup?
I don't know. You just have this get out of jail free card too with this break.
Bro, Jason Shackle hasn't lost since March 1st. Cameron Knowles is now coaching Minnesota.
Yeah.
They're beating the shit out of us relative to our standing in the table.
Mm-hmm.
So Jason Shackle, let him coach a game and then find the guy in the summer.
Yeah.
Find the guy, because this is not it. This is not it. Since March 7th, you see it on the screen. Loss, draw, loss. Loss to USL team. Draw, loss. Win. Draw, loss. And you beat Houston and St. Louis.
Yep. It's not good. It's not fucking good at all.
And which players have gotten better under Nico since he got here? Owen had an improved year. Are we crediting that to Nico?
No.
Or just Owen's natural development as a fucking stud?
I think that's fair. I think it's a slight to not say that is mostly Owen. I'm not going to fucking go.
You can't completely discredit.
Exactly.
It's the coaching staff. When he's playing well, yada yada.
He's involved in that. But of course, that's the natural transition of one of the best players, prospects in the fucking country right now, moving up, getting stronger, having more experience, all of those things taking place. That's the main reason for why that took place. But to your point, I think Biru's gotten better since he got here. And again, whatever that mixture is, I still think I would lean towards
did Biru get better under Nico or under Josh Wolf?
Yeah.
He's been under both.
Yep.
And I don't think there was like a marked improvement for Biru last year over what he put out there in 24. And like Rosales has been great. He landed here like that.
Yeah, he landed great. He was born great.
Stuver? You could say like maybe his best 2 years, but like he's always been good.
Yeah.
So like again, I come back to what's the point of keeping Nico for next week's match? Which makes me think he's not getting fired in the summer. And that's a problem.
If I had to bet, if I look this shit up on Kalshi or whatever right now, give us the sponsorship. Come on, throw it over here. Sign up for the DP, Kalshi. If I had to bet, I would say no. If I'm trying to win money, if I'm trying to get some situation,
which is what we're trying to do.
Yeah, it was like, again, we don't gotta like.
You might not know that after betting on Austin last night, but we are.
Yeah, no, I would say no. I would say he's going to keep his job, and that is also insane to me. Yeah, because you have this gift.
Yeah,
that is just fallen into your lap.
Yeah. It's just so far past the you have important guys injured part. It's so far gone at this point.
Do I think that Nico potentially deserved to have a shot with the core of our guys being all the way healthy? Sure, I can make an argument for that he at least deserved that. But when the results have looked like they have as of late, when you move into take into account that I don't know who believes that this is a coach who's going to win you a trophy, then life's not fair. It's unfair that BV and Owen were hurt. It's unfair that we had guys down, in games where we dropped points and you ended up with a draw. It's unfair, but that's sports, man. It's how it fucking works.
Couple listener questions here, that we can rifle through. On the topic, Ribbinator wrote in and said after the game, Nico basically said that if a player needs a coach to motivate him, then you shouldn't play for Austin FC. But then he also said that SKC was more desperate than us and that they were the better team tonight and deserved to win. My question: do you now see the correlation / causation between Nico's mentality and the lackluster performance of our players? And I see your face. I'm also confused because I feel like we've been saying for over a month that we don't see that with this guy.
I mean, we were saying it, I think, last year when we were successful in games where we were just like, how many times have you said, who's the guy who is going to MF these dudes when they need a kick in the boot, in the butt there? Yeah. So I don't know. I feel like I've maintained that position, and I do think so. And to the original, portion of that, it's like, yes, professionalism means showing up, being ready for your job every single fucking day when you're a professional athlete. That's also part of the gig. Should you, as a player, have that level of internal motivation, internal dedication to show up night in and night out and give it your all, regardless of what's going on? Yes, you should. Are people human? Do they need motivation from the guy who's supposed to be not only, be in charge of the schematics and how we want to play and the formations, but of rallying your men and getting dudes who are going to be willing to run through a wall for you and go to battle. Yeah. And I just don't think he has that component. And I don't know the players who have shown anything that would lead me to believe that they want to go to fucking war for this dude.
I mean, that's the main reason why we don't believe it. It's because you don't see it.
Exactly.
Josh asked, if you were Roto, what's the reason to keep Nico around until the end of the season? And I think my answer is, if I'm sitting in Roto's chair, and my reckless speculation here on the podcast, right, has been before that you maybe keep him around because that lengthens your window as the sporting director of this team. Because if if the reality is, as we prognosticated, where Roto maybe gets one more head coach after this, and then the eyes of the people who matter turn towards Rodolfo if you don't start that consistent winning with the new coach, like that extends his window in the job. I have no idea if that's reality or not, but that's just about the best thing I can think of right now. Outside of the idea that, and again, I don't think this is likely either, like that the guy is not available till the winter. Like, I feel like there's got to be plenty of coaches here when the rest of the world is not just taking the World Cup break, but are in between their seasons.
Yeah.
Is there not a better coach that we can go out and hire and have a better outlook going forward for the long term with this team? Anything else? Like, do you have anything to add to that?
I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, I just keep coming back to this fucking giant 2-month gift that you have where you can push the reset button and move on from this. And like, I just keep coming back to that. Also, I don't think, and this is not directed at the person who is asking
at Josh
this question. I don't think you want what's best for the team if you don't want Rodolfo Borrell to at least have 2 full head coaching hires. I think 2 might be low, to be honest. You know what I mean? And like, I just don't think you want what's best. I think you're just mad, which I am too.
Yeah, with you.
Sure, I'm right there with you, but I don't think you want what's best for this team going forward. If you're giving Roto one chance with a head coach that he actually picked, I just can't get on board with that.
Yeah. And Ari says, I don't see our first win on the road this season coming against St. Louis after this pitiful display they've put out there the last 2 games. He said 4 points over these last 5 is unacceptable. Is it time to pull the plug on Nico? If not, do you realistically think we are capable of winning at a clip high enough to make the playoffs after the World Cup? So I'll start with I think we've had 4 points from our last 4 now. So if you don't win next weekend, that would be 4 from your last 5.
Yes.
Is it time to pull the plug on Nico? We've answered that, I think.
Yep.
And but even dude, if they don't, I do think that they can make the playoffs still if you don't change the coach. But that's not my goal. Just to be in like wild card. That's not the playoffs, man. And even if you win the wild card and make it in, just to probably get booted, like again, like it's more about looking even beyond this season for me. But you can salvage above what I think this team can do by changing the coach if you make the right hire, right?
Yeah.
And if you make some more positive additions in the window from a player personnel standpoint.
Yeah, this has to be a 2-pronged approach here. If you're moving on from the coach, you also have to find better players at certain positions, which we will definitely get into when we touch on the roster stuff here. I do think you could find a way to make the playoffs with Nico in the second half of this. I do. And is that more of a, of a statement on, do I think Nico's the right guy? Or is it more of a statement on like, this is the MLS. You got fucking 9 teams making the goddamn playoffs in the conference. Like that's more of an indictment to what that is and everything. Yeah. So I'm there. But I also don't. I mean, why would I have any confidence? I just put the double stamp guarantee on a victory over Sporting Kansas City. Why would I have any confidence that you're going to go on the road and beat a St. Louis team who suddenly looks good?
Yeah. They beat LAFC last week. So
beat LAFC. They had, we sandwiched that loss for them in between wins over the Fire, advancing in the Cup, beating LAFC, and then they got a result last night as well.
Anything else for you on this one, man? I mean, it's going to sting a lot longer than, after we put this episode out. It's going to be a rough week for Austin FC fans.
It's going to be a really rough, long week. Just embarrassed, man. That's an embarrassing result and performance. And then when you tie everything else in that's happened over the course of this week, it looks really shitty. And I understand why a lot of people are fucking down. But
should be.
I'm still showing up for sure. You know what I mean? Like I'm hurting. I'm upset. I'm mad. It sucks. This is not where I want to be either. And I understand why people are fucking pissed, man.
Well, if we just peek ahead to that St. Louis match, do you want to put it on everybody's radar that after the flurry of matches in the middle of, or the early parts of the month, the Los Verdes watch parties will return for this final road match before the World Cup break. So next Saturday at Austin Beer Works, that Sprinkle Valley location at 10300 Springdale Road here in Austin. We got an early kick on Saturday out there in St. Louis. 1:30 kickoff, so the party will start at 12:30. I actually think that kickoff is now 1:45. Either way, party getting underway at 12:30 p.m. Of course, at Austin Beer Works, Sprinkle Valley. You've got on-site parking. It's family friendly. They even have that playground out there for the kids. Big outdoor screen, picnic benches, indoor TVs with some tables and chairs, and La Taquicardia, Rockies, and Parish Barbecue are the 3 food trucks on site. So we'll talk about that again on Wednesday's preview episode, but wanted to put that on your radar if you're looking for a place to watch the game with some fellow Verdes and, win or lose, commiserate in those emotions. It's especially when a team's going through something like this, man. I kind of find it's better to watch with some like-minded buddies than alone. So looking forward to that one for sure.
Yeah, then you're just not drinking along, which is always good.
So I also did, as I mentioned earlier, wanted to shout out Moises for this reporting on Emergency Podcast on Saturday. Of course, that's the Verde All Day podcast outlet. And Moises reported that Austin FC's 3rd kit is not only confirmed, as we already knew, but put a release date on it in August of this year. So look, I know nobody right now is probably looking to buy Austin FC merch after the 2 games they just put us through in the last 4 days. But I know that I'm going to be excited for this one when it hits and looking forward to seeing what it looks like.
I cannot wait to see it. I'm very excited. It better be good.
Yeah, it better be. So let's do a little bit on that salary cap release that we kind of mentioned in the midweek episode, but wanted to dive in a little bit more deeply than time allowed on Thursday. So pulling up the sheets here, right? And you, of course, can also go to mlsplayers.org, click on the resources there, get to the salary guide and see this, because I think for the YouTube viewers, right, you get a couple zooms. You can see some of the top paid players here in the league sorted by guaranteed compensation. So like a couple takeaways from here. Lionel Messi with his guaranteed comp. Like I don't think this includes like his part of the Apple deal or the Adidas jersey sales or any other outside money that he's making. But his $21.3 million he's paid more than the Philadelphia Union.
And that doesn't include the side construction gigs that he's pulling in.
Exactly. And you see, Chucky Lozano, $9.3 million, 4th highest paid player in the league, just on the shelf for San Diego and beating our ass in historic fashion. Yeah. So just some of the top line takeaways there from across the league. You can go search, check out what every team is working with there. Let's go to the northendpodcast.com and check out our roster and salary cap sheets here, and talk about some of our takeaways. I think we can start up top, right? We were waiting for that Facundo Torres salary, of course, as a designated player, hits the roster at that max cap hit, 803K and some change. But you immediately notice Facu Torres, the highest paid player on this roster now, which was a little bit of a surprise to me. Maybe I shouldn't have been. That base salary, just 10K higher than Brandon Vasquez. You get a little bit more separation in that guaranteed comp number. But thinking about it from the annual spend on our DPs, like from that perspective, we went up way higher this year with that salary, like $3 million increase from Buka's like 1.5-ish million to Facu 4.4 guaranteed comp. Again, relative to the cap, that doesn't matter. But in terms of what we're spending on these guys, it certainly does. And we know that there is not an unlimited blank checkbook for Rodolfo Borrell in the front office. Like there is a budget number. So that's just something that I'm cognizant of, is we are now paying $3 million more total for our 3 DPs.
Yeah. And that's part of the frustration, is that we have spent. We have been one of the, more teams willing to spend in this league with some of these players and everything. And like, I don't know, I just had a quick thought, right? Like just looking at those 3 DP guys, right? And it's like we placed a clear emphasis on these DP guys not also taking up an international slot. And I know that gives us some flexibility. We've sold some stuff. We've done the Flipadelphia. We've done these other things.
Yeah.
But then when you look who's taking up some of the international slots, it becomes a little bit different, because you got 3 guys who are basically sum zero for this season right now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And Duber, long-term project, yes. Do I still believe in Djordjevic going forward? Yes. Are any of these dudes helping us win right now? Fuck no.
Yeah. Yeah. and you look at some of the other changes, right? Like I think it was Danny. So we get the actual number on Danny, 793K and some change. He's a TAM guy. Rosales is a TAM guy. I like the Rosales cap number, 529K. But of course, he's a TAM guy because of the amortized fee from the trade with Minnesota. Where I'm confused is how is Danny a TAM player? Because to put TAM on a guy's contract to buy down their cap hit, you have to be over the max salary cap charge of $803,000 and some change. And he's at $793 and some change. So maybe I'm misinterpreting the rules here, but I don't think I am.
Yeah.
And so I'm just a little bit confused as to how he is a TAM player, and that is throwing me off just a little bit. But I will kind of wrap this into the overarching theme that I think I have as a takeaway here is that this roster over the last window did get better and did get more efficient from a talent standpoint, from fitting everything in under the rules of this game here in MLS. Using our TAM.
Go back to the other tab where it shows the players in, players out. Okay. I think that if you're watching on the YouTube, this should very much summarize what you're talking about here when you look at who's on the roster now and who we got rid of.
Yeah, the players out in the last window: Julio Cascante, Jimmy Farcarlin, Diego Rubio, Stefan Cleveland, Osman Bukhari, and Jader Obrian. You bring in Irvin Torres, John Bell, Jaden Nelson, Joseph Rosales, Facu Torres, and Christian Ramirez.
Not even close.
And I would also note, too, like if you're on our cap sheets, we have these sheets going back. This is the 2025 one. So you can go to the 2025 cap sheet and compare differences, like some of the raises, maybe some of the pay cuts that some guys took, right? Danny got the biggest one, I believe. Stuver on his new contract, 124K raise, I believe, between last year and this one. And maybe we've held off on discussing this too long already. Number one with a bullet, worst contract, and got a 100K pay raise in the offseason. Of course, those are built into these contracts when they're signed, but it's Besart Savovich as our sixth highest paid player. And like in terms of cap hit, dude, he's our fifth. Yeah. He's our fifth biggest cap albatross on this roster. And I'm sure that some of the bigger roto detractors, where I fit in more with you, I think a lot of people who are pointing fingers at the GM here, the sporting director rather, like you said, are mad and wanting to point fingers.
Yeah.
But I'm also not going to sit here and say that this thing has gone perfect. We've stated that before. But right now, Besart Savovich is not only a terrible contract and something we need to get off of 110% in this summer window. By far, Rodolfo Borrell's worst move, in my opinion, is the signing of Besart Savovich.
I don't know. That's not a hot take in any way. I don't even think Savovich thinks he's worth that much money at this point in time. But obviously, going to keep cashing those checks, man. And yeah, that is. I know I've been throwing out non-negotiable a bunch here, but he has to be gone. I do not care if you spend a buyout on him. Pay whoever needs to be paid to make sure this guy is off the team. I will buy extra beers at the stadium. I think you could rally a lot of people to go to the merch store, what have you, to fucking send this dude out, man. And
I think a lot of people would give the middle finger and say, do it yourself.
Well, shit.
I would.
It's just going to be me? So, yeah, that's an F. That's an F. The dude is a non-contributor. He's not a leader in any way. He's not a guy who raises the level of his teammates. Mm-hmm. It is what it is. We talked before is would you rather have Giassi Zardes at 34 or 35, whatever he was, for $1 million, or Savovich for $650? Yeah. And it's G.
Yeah.
And that's, G's a legend and everything, but that was the one contract people were flipping out before. $650 for this dude. Can't happen. Got to be gone.
Well, and just going back, Zardes was a not even a Reyna signing, right? Or was it? Was it Wolf and Rubio, or was it? It wasn't Burrell. He was here, right, to start 23.
I think it was Rubio Wolf.
Yeah. Well,
combo. The old combo wumbo.
I mean, I think that again, overall, this roster is more built out. It is a step towards quote unquote complete roster. Because dude, these guys, it brings me back to who's gotten better or whose level of play is being elevated outside of the clear lack of cohesion that has been built among this group. Like, to have a roster, like, I'm going to leave Azuni. I still think we should move on from Azuni in the summer window. Yeah. Especially if he, again, the reporting, I don't know how many times we've said it, but the reporting was that he was also willing to go. So let's just do that.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Let's bring in a different DP here in the summer window, because Brandon Vasquez, Facu Torres, Danny Pereira, Owen Wolf, Joseph Rosales, Brad Stuver, Mikael Dessler, Jaden Nelson, like, these are good, above average at worst.
At worst.
MLS players. And like sprinkling in a couple other guys around him that are like, 9th, 10th, 11th guys on a roster. And some guys who are rotation guys. Like, so again, again, it's going to shock nobody who listens to this show that I am nowhere near. You need to get rid of the sporting director. If anything, he needs to step up and make a move at the coaching position is what I think.
Agreed. Absolutely. And that's why I think this team could make the playoffs.
Yes.
Like, that's why. And it's not because of Nico. It's because of the core of the dudes that you just fucking went through. And if they're healthy, that's a fine club in MLS. You're a good team.
You're mediocre. I don't know about good, but
I mean,
you should be top 9.
Good. I'd say is like 6th. You know what I mean? Like, do I think this team could elevate to 6th place? It could happen for sure. We also know that the front half of the schedule was pretty loaded. You know, and I don't want to.
We also just went through the easiest part of the schedule.
That's true. So I do like, and that's why I think the team could make the playoffs.
Yeah. Well, I think maybe one of the last things I want to touch on here is kind of rolling back to what we talked about on Thursday, highlighting that both the salaries of Ilie Sanchez and John Bell are $225K, meaning they're eligible to be bought down to the supplemental roster. But with that roster profile that was dropped back in February, we know those guys are both on the senior roster, at least the last time the league released that profile to us. So as I kind of hinted at on Thursday, paying more attention to who can occupy these supplemental slots, because now that we're getting to a point where, like, we're maybe loading up this supplemental roster with more guys who have a chance to be in one of these Austin FC games than we've ever had. Like, we've never had a full supplemental roster, but right, spots 21 through 24, and we'll pull up some of our trusty rules and regulations here. We'll get some zooms for the YouTube viewers. So, right, looking at the supplemental roster, you have slots 21 through 24. These slots can be filled with senior minimum salary players, and that is $113K and some change. Those players may include homegrown players, Generation Adidas players, any specifically designated players eligible for the Super Draft, or homegrown players earning more than the senior minimum salary, right, that $113K, subject to the homegrown player subsidy. Slots 25 through 30, basically the same thing, but only for players with reserve minimum salary, $88K and some change. And I think what I wanted to highlight was this rule called the homegrown player subsidy, which says homegrown players in supplemental slots 21 through 30 may earn in aggregate each year up to $125,000 more above the reserve minimum if occupying slots 25 through 31, or senior minimum salary if occupying slots 21 through 24. And clubs may use up to $200K of their currently available TAM or GAM to sign new homegrown players to their first MLS contract. And TAM cannot be used on a homegrown player previously signed to Major League Soccer. So I bring that up to talk about those two guys being able to be bought down to the supplemental. Why were they not? Because if you go look at the salaries of these supplemental guys, Christian Ramirez, right, not eligible for the homegrown subsidy. You're buying his cap hit down. And also, this is a good note that I've heard some people kind of trip over this week. $577K is the guaranteed comp for Christian Ramirez. He hits our cap at $225 because that's what we bid in the waiver process after he was bought out by the Galaxy. So he's still getting paid that number, but hits our cap at the supplemental eligible. We know he's on the supplemental. That was reported at the time of the signing because we are only paying that fraction of his original salary. He still gets the rest from the Galaxy in the buyout. So he's on the supplemental roster. You look at the other guys that we have that we think are in 21 through 24 along with him is Damian Loss, Micah Burton, CJ Fodre. all making a base salary above that senior roster minimum. Because we can use the homegrown subsidy on Damian Loss and Micah Burton, I think that's what we're doing there.
Mm-hmm.
Potentially, because I don't know how else you shift a Bell or an Ilie to the supplemental. They have to be in 21 through 24. Those other guys are not eligible to be 25 through 30.
Yeah.
So is there going to be, and I think this could be totally fucking stupid and wrong, but like, is CJ going to move to the senior roster and one of those other guys going to move back? Either way, I maybe should have played Record Speculation at the beginning of this episode, but like, I think something is going to shift around there with this that I don't fully know what type of rules we're maneuvering with here, but I think it has to do with the subsidy, and I think we're going to see some movement there because if you're looking at this from the roster slot perspective, the rules governing those slots on the supplemental roster, I don't think we have a slot to put those guys, which means we don't have an open slot on the senior for Shemi. So again, I think there's going to be some shuffling here in the summer window, and I'm looking forward to the next salary drop and the next roster profile to be put out because, again, like I said at the beginning of the season, it didn't make much sense to me that before we knew those cap numbers on Ilie and John Bell, it didn't make much sense to me that they would be on the senior roster if their salaries were low enough to be bought down. Now that they are, digging a little deeper, again, I think it's a little bit too deep even for me here.
Yeah.
And maybe I just need to go deeper into the CBA or something. But yeah, I think we're kind of full up 21 through 24 there.
Yeah, you're really in the weeds here for sure. But it does look like there's got to be some sort of mechanism or maneuverability that you can have here where you can make that work and everything. Because we know, I mean, Playheta seems like, it's coming. You know,
he's here.
Okay.
We know that, right? Like,
oh, we do? I didn't.
I mean, I just think it's happening. It just like comes from right. Well, Larchik, the Polish Tom Bogert.
Yep.
And like that player being out of contract, the fact that it's just like the same pattern of reporting on a Dessler or a Buka, right? So I don't know. I've been treating it as like he's coming. Of course, like the club hasn't confirmed it, but I've certainly been operating like he's going to arrive.
Well, Boloko was here.
Yeah, true. Also true. we do have some listener questions related to this. From Scott said, what's our best guess as to how many players will be inbound during the summer break and best guess for how many players and who will be departing? So number one, Savovich, right? We know that.
Yeah, that's your guarantee.
I think you got to be ready for, didn't we list off like, at least you and I were talking about this the other day that like, group of players who you can potentially sell for GAM, either in the league or abroad.
Danny,
clearly Danny Owen, right? Biru. I mean, maybe like a Nelson or Rosales, but I don't think you're moving either of those guys when you just brought him in. I think that's potentially down the road. So I think I think as much as this is going to make you hurt, I think Biru makes the most sense because put Rosales at left back.
I agree. I understand it. And also when you're looking at the stuff, it's like who has the value, who has the interest where you're actually potential. I think Guilherme, outside of the buyout for Savovich, which I think has to happen, we also got to get Robert Taylor off the book somehow.
Sure.
I'm sorry. Like you've shown flashes at time. I really wanted to be a fan of him. Something's wrong with his fucking knee. Something is structurally wrong with one of his legs. So can't be taking up $600,000. We're not getting anything out of you.
Yeah.
But I do think Guilherme, if I had to, again, if I'm going to the books with it, Biru's the guy I'm putting the most amount of money on because I'm trying to win some money. And of course that makes me upset, but like shuffling Joe back there makes a ton of sense, opening more space in that midfield for guys like Danny and potentially Duber, going forward here.
Well, dude, we need the GAM.
I'm going to say three guys.
Okay.
Savovich and a combination of Biru. I don't think Europe's calling about Pep anymore, but I do think there's probably opportunities with him that could be.
Sure.
But like I also know he loves Austin. I think you gave him this new kind of deal and everything because you want him to be a part of your franchise for a long time. And I like that. Having a guy who, when we had him on, talking about his first interactions with Coach Wolf and how he helped mold him more into a man and a leader in the locker room. I think that can carry over. You could have a guy who's here for a long period of time. But if we're talking value, potentially, and the vapors are coming off of Owen a little bit.
Something's going on.
Something is going on with that situation. Something's up, and obviously he commands the most value out of any of the prospects that we have.
Yeah. I think we got to be ready, right? So you said 3 guys outbound.
And Mirtu.
Yes.
And
that would be my third. That would be my third. I think it's again, if you can get a bag of chips for Sabovich, you do that, because then you could potentially buy out Robbie Taylor. Or if I think Coach said it was his meniscus, so probably it's not a season-ending injury, but that would be an easy fix, is SEI and get the spot back, and then you don't pick up the option next year. The guys who have options for next year are Kolmanich, Ilya, and Bobby T.
Kolmanich,
Riley Thomas as well, but
I'm done with Kolmanich. There's seeing the ceiling. You know what I mean? It's a great left foot. It's a great cross. I'm sorry. You just don't bring enough to the team. Who are the other ones you said expiring? Ilya. I think Ilya retires.
Sure.
Personally.
Or if the option is a supplemental final year, I will take that.
Yeah. Does he want to go? Does he want to do this again?
I don't know.
Potentially.
We'll see. Retire right now. Become the coach.
Oh, there we go.
I'm back to this.
There is one option.
I'm back.
Pat Riley.
And Scott was also asking, best guess for how many players will be inbound. I think it's 1 out, 1 in. I would hope.
I thought you said 3. Were you on board with me?
Yes, but how many come in?
You think just 1, just Shemi?
I said 1 out, 1 in. So if you get rid of 3, you add 3.
Just say 3.
Hyperbole.
Bro. Just say 3. Making me do
anything else
here?
for you? Anything else for you on this stuff right now? Of course, we'll be continuing to talk about the roster and the salary cap as we move through the summer break.
I'm good, man.
Not going to play the last business day theme, but because those guys kick off here in about an hour, we did just get the lineup for tonight's match against St. Louis City 2E. Eric Lauta in net, back line, Kaeli, Barry, Watt, Chesla, midfield of Barrow, Irvin Torres, Jorge Alistue with the armband. Up top, Micah Burton, Eric Feliciano, Vlad Danchutu. Excited to watch this one because it's where I'm getting my joy these days. Austin FC 2 and the Spurs.
There we go, man. I mean, best luck to those boys. They're super hot right now. I like that lineup a lot.
Let's close it out with the nonsense here. North End Podcast wins week 13. While we are Austin TV, unfortunately for us, gets back on track. So we only pick up 2 points on We Are Austin, but we gain even more on the rest of the field. So we're now just 11 points back of Soccer-Wise for second place, and putting a little bit of distance between ourselves and the Verde Pendant in fourth, Verde All Day in fifth, and Moon Tower with the 52 showing a little bit of life there. We will, of course, have those best ball scores for this weekend's games, week 14, posted early in the week. We'll take the victory.
Yeah, we're picking up some steam here.
Yeah, absolutely. So we move to the Patreon League, Sentimiento League. It is Tex-Rex with the week 13 win that jumps him all the way to third place in the Sentimiento And then this is reminding me that Mace pointed out to me that as much as he wanted to ignore this as well, that it's actually Birdman who wins the week. And it ends my streak, I think, of 2 straight weeks of having everything correct on these graphics. Birdman 66, Tex-Rex 65. So while Rex does jump up to third, it is TJ continuing his reign of terror here. 742 total points. Birdman in first, Ari's, Tex-Rex, and Cesar, the top 4 in the Sentimiento League. You go to the Heartbeat League, and Dave Ruth gets the dub with a 71 for Dave. Tightening things up in the middle of the table here. Top 4 in the Heartbeat. Still Peach up top, followed by Tim, ZG, and Mike Crignola. And then Rooted League, as we expected, wins his 4th week in the last 5, increases that overall lead. But, dude, the 62 was much lower than I expected you to have. It was really those 2 hat tricks and just about it. But increasing that overall lead, Turbo Trevor. Shout out to Trev.
Oh,
Got
shit,
to meet him
that's
for
right.
the first time in person last night, which was awesome.
That was awesome to meet him, dude.
So shout out to Trev, Jones in third, Logan in fourth. And you look at the overall standings, top 8 qualify for the Premier League next year. Right now, that would be E, Birdman, Trevor, Peach, Ari, Schnorb, Logan, and Tim. ZG, the first one out, followed by Mike, Tex Rex, and Josh Dwyer. But things still tight, always in flux here on the overall standings, I guess, unless your name is E.
Hey, goal from Messi and an assist. We'll take it.
Oh, my God. Can they get the third, though, for the underdog picks? That's what I'm wondering. Because, E, we're up like 4.4 units headed into today, but we've got 5 units live here on Sunday evening between these two games. So hopefully we're picking up some units on the weekend, but we'll talk about that on Wednesday's episode. Anything else for you here before we shut it down?
Take care of yourself, Verde fan. Self-care, water, hydrate, meditation, all those good things.
And then just become a San Antonio Spurs fan and, ride the glory for the next 10 years.
Shut up.
All right, everybody. We appreciate you tuning in, sticking with us here on episode 308 of the North End Podcast. We're back on Wednesday, mercifully breaking down or previewing rather our rematch against St. Louis City, recapping the second team's match here from Sunday night and previewing their next fixture, and of course talking about everything else that happens in the Austin FC universe between now and then. Enjoy the beginning of your week, everybody. We'll try to do the same, and we'll see you back here on Wednesday for another episode. Until then, he's E, and I'm Zach. Vamos Austin FC, everybody. Goodbye.